Okay, so 48 newtons is required to start the 5 kilogram box moving across the horizontal floor, right? So we want to know what the coefficient of static friction is, right? And so we're going to use the formula that the force of friction for static friction, right, is less than or equal to the static coefficient. Now, if we just broke it free, then it must be that we're equal to it, right? Okay, and if we've got a 5 kilogram box sitting on this floor, we know that if that's 5 kilograms, there's a force of gravity of 5 times 9.81 acting down, right? And that's going to also equal the reaction force. That's what we put in there, right? Okay, so 5 times 9.81 is 49.05. Okay. So now we can just plug our numbers in, right? If this is 48, if that's the force that breaks it free, that equals some static coefficient times 49.05. So 48 divided by that answer is 0.9786, right? So 0.9786, which is that answer right there. About 0.98 is our coefficient, right, of static friction, right? Okay, now if the 48 Newton force continues and the box accelerates, well, now we've got a different situation, right? We've got a situation where, let's draw a picture of the box, right? We got 48 newtons this way, right? We've got some unknown force, but it's going to be less than this 48 newtons, right? Okay, so I'll just call that F. This will be the force of friction, the kinetic force of friction, right? It's moving this way, so we know the force of friction is to the left if it's moving to the right. And then we also know that it's accelerating that way at 0.70 meters per second squared. This is assuming that it's actually going faster and faster, which it would, because the kinetic force or dynamic force has to be less than the static force. This was the static force that broke it free, and now this is the dynamic force, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. We're going to go force plus 48 equals 5 times 0.70, right? And now we can find that force. So let's see. That force is 5 times 0.7 minus 48, negative 44.5. Right, and now we're all set. That's the friction force. So we go 44.5 is equal to the dynamic coefficient, right, times the reaction force, which we know is 49.05. To that, and now you can get your 0.91. That's a good problem.